Offense. Go ahead.
What did you see in those last 5 minutes of the regulation and the overtime that just sort of changed the game around?
And we had a lead with 3 minutes and 3-4 seconds to go, 109, 102, and we did not score there to finish the quarter, to finish the fourth quarter. I thought that gotta give credit to Clippers. I thought that they were physical. They did a really good job defensively, and we did not execute good enough to get better shots. We turned the ball over a couple of times. We had a chance to close the game there in the fourth quarter there with 3 minutes to go, but we did not execute good enough.
You guys, on that note, you guys had a tough time getting the ball to Brandon. A lot of that obviously is how Chris Dunn defends, but what do you think you guys could have done better to maybe get him to the spots a little easier?
And, definitely there's going to be good film to watch. I got to see the film. I have one opinion that might be biased right now. I thought that their physicality was a lot of times with a lot of hands and a lot of illegal grabbing and holding. I got to see it better on the film as well to see what was going on and why we were not able to get a ball where we wanted to get a ball.
You guys have the best defense in those clutch situations in the league, but how much of a concern is the offense in those late game situations? Not just tonight, but obviously ongoing.
I can talk about game tonight. I thought that we needed to do a better job executing. I thought that we got a couple of open shots that we needed to knock down. Our defense was not good in the fourth quarter. They scored 31 points and we lost. We won the first, second, and third quarter. We started the fourth quarter with 8-0 run. That's now how you play at home. You got to do a better job there of protecting your home court. And obviously, it's hard to play without quickly to have 2 point guards out there. Tonight it was one of those games that it went their way. It was overtime game, competitive game. I think that fans had the chance to enjoy in a very competitive game, but at the end of it didn't go our way tonight.
Encouraging to see Gradey stack another good game off the previous one.
Definitely, he's playing with more confidence. He's playing with more energy there. I thought that when he started making shots, his defense improved from that point as well. I thought that he played a good game today.
What did you like about Jamal? He had career high in assists and really seemed to drive both sides of the ball for the first 45 minutes at least.
And he did a good job there, touching the paint and then playmaking. He continues to improve in open court as well, just like with running and getting guys in the right spots. A lot of times he's without the ball, so he gets to the right spots on the floor there. Defensively, his tenacity and how he guards the ball is the help that we see every single night. I thought that overall he played a good game, and he's managing those starters minutes really well.
Well, you guys were kind of going pretty well up until about that 3-minute mark. You got that 8-point lead, and offensively things just kind of dried up. What did you see from your point of view there?
Just missed shots. I think that we were still sharing the ball really well. I think we got shots that we wanted. Even at the rim, we were just missing little bunnies here and there. So, I think our focus just shifted from how we were playing the first 3 quarters to got a little lackadaisical when we needed to amp it up a little bit.
Is it sort of inevitable in overtime or down the stretch of a game that the ball moves a little less and it's just about getting certain guys the ball at certain times?
It would be like that if, we're forcing it into Scotty and B.I. hands, but even when we did force it into their hands, when they got doubled or anything, any sort of trap, they still sprayed it out and we got good looks. I think we just have to be better, and I think we shot it pretty well today compared to what we've been doing. But we still have so much room to get better.
Obviously, James got going there in the fourth and overtime. Beyond that, how do you feel about the state of how you guys are playing defensively, over the last 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, I think we guard up there with anybody. No matter who's on the floor, no matter what group of guys are out there, I think we have a great, solid team defense. But, when a guy like that gets going, we have to figure out a way to stop him.
As far as, just one more question, you said you just have to be able to make shots. Sometimes on the floor you can see you guys pointing at each other, correcting things, even yelling maybe, but that's about execution of controlled things. What do you do as a team if you just say we don't make shots? What is the process for kind of digging in on that and trying to
get it back on the other end. I think we do a great job of that. I think we move on. We tell each other good shot. We tell each other to keep shooting, and then we go play even harder on the other end so that we can get easy runouts, easy layups, get just easier points, and then just keep attacking. Like I feel like Bi could have had the ball a lot more tonight. He only got 13 shots up, and that's my fault. So I think him and Scotty were leading the way, especially once the fourth quarter got down to the wire. They should have had the ball a lot more.
These last few starts you've had, I mean, how does it affect you? How do you is it easier to get in a rhythm? Do you feel you got more breathing room? What's the difference?
No, it's not that I have more breathing room, just on the court longer. Just making sure that my effort is still there regardless if I'm tired or not, and just making sure that I'm focused on the things that are helping us win. I don't think that my minutes changing or me starting has anything to do with it. I think just trying to play the same game that I've been playing all year.
What are you seeing from Gradey now? He seems to be picking things up. What are you seeing differently from him?
Honestly, I love the fact that Grady's starting to play a little better because he's been taking the same shots that he's been taking all year, the same shots that he was taking and making last year. So I think he's been confident. He's trusted his work. And, he's getting after it on the defense end. He's finding new ways. He's screening. He's rolling. He's just finding new ways to impact winning. And, it's gone a long way for him. So I'm really excited for him going forward.
What are those hustle plays that you mentioned do for the team when you see him diving around making those big plays?
Yeah, Gradey ends up with one bruise or one bloody knee that just doesn't go away for the rest of the game. But, it takes that. It takes that for you to get going. It takes that hustle play for you to, just have yourself going and that, I can impact this game.
Gradey, I mean, you've had a couple of good games now offensively, and what does it mean to see a couple of threes go down tonight?
It always feels good to make shots. I mean, who doesn't like to? But I think it's just continue to build my rhythm. I talked a little bit about it before, of just new teams and new roles, and going in with the mindset of just trying to perfect them as best as you can. What coach is asking you, really, and I feel like when I do that, it's starting with the defensive end, and then that kind of pushes me into my offense, really.
Yeah, I mean, that play you made when you dove for the loose ball and got the alley-oop to Bi. I mean, I think that was the same play. Anyway, but dove for the loose ball, created a turnover. I mean, how important are those kind of plays for you to get that ball running and earn that confidence, I guess?
It's great. Those are some of the most fun plays because that's when the crowd gets really into it and the momentum is just there and it builds more and more, and it's kind of like a ticking time bomb. You can feel it, when the ball's, on the floor, and you can kind of feel the energy start to rise, and then once we get the possession and, finish it off and the crowd goes crazy, it gives you goosebumps, and that's honestly like why I play basketball. So when we can have plays like that and continue to build that momentum, it makes basketball fun.
As you've been doing like all the other little things, has that made it easier to sort of get through the struggle of shooting the ball, kind of because that's been the thing you've been able to do all your life, thinking that, hey, like this part will come?
Yeah, I think it gives me a different perspective of not trying to be one-dimensional and not trying to come in as a player and thinking I can only do one thing. And I feel like kind of through the early struggles, and I can kind of show that the resilience, and every year, some guys are going to go through slumps and stuff like that, but as soon as I can go out there and not worry about my shooting and just not get so caught up in that, and when I really focus on other aspects of the game, I think that's what has taught me to get through that, and just I'm not putting stress on any shots. And as a shooter, you have to have a short-term memory, and I feel like I've kept that even with maybe missing some here and there, and I'm gonna shoot the next one. I don't really think about a miss really ever. So I feel like when I do that, focus on the defensive end, it makes it that much easier.
Is there an aspect of your defense that you look at last season to this season that you're most proud of improving?
I think just being more present. I feel like, it's kind of easy sometimes, I feel like, to get lackadaisical in the corner when maybe not an action's coming at you, and then all of a sudden, NBA is split second, and you're in an action, and then you're 1 second behind, and that split second of a hesitation, and you're not connected to your defender, that opens up a lot of different ways for them to score. And I feel like when I've just been locked in, I'm talking straight away. sometimes just yelling out stuff that doesn't even really involve the play, but it just keeps me, focused, on the defensive, side of it. And I feel like when I'm one step ahead, I'm pushing into my rhythm, into my offensive side, more defense, whatever it may be. I'm just more present in everything.
Gradey, on your first three, Jamal was on a fast break. Jamal was all the way at the rim, and then he kind of threw it 3/4 across the court to get it to you. And then I think once it went in, like Jamal kind of fist bumped like he was. What does it say about him as a point guard that he's looking to create those kind of opportunities for guys and wants people to succeed? I guess.
That's exactly that. He's amazing. He wants everyone to succeed, and he has our backs, he has my back, and I have his. And I feel like when you have a point guard like that, it's super motivational, and see the work that he puts in every single day. And I feel like what goes, people don't talk about enough is just his selflessness. And like you said, he wants everyone to win. And I had just missed a shot right there, and I feel like he was one of the first guys that came up to me and said, "Stay right there. The way they're playing their defense, you're going to be open for another one." And it was like one of the next plays, so having to be quick turnaround. But his aggressiveness to the rim, his speed, his burst of speed, he's going to either score that, or drop it off and do what he did there. And he's amazing.
In regards to the shooting, I guess you walk into practice, you see the Noah board. There's trainers who say stuff. There's tons of people who say stuff. When you're going through a slump, I'm sure it's probably attractive to want to try and adjust and tweak. How do you walk that line up from your perspective, knowing what advice you think is good and proper for your shot and what might be like you're trying to do too much and you stray away from something?
For me personally, it's just shooting the exact same shot more and more. And I feel like as a shooter, if slumps happen or you're missing some shots here and there in games, you just got to put more work in and see it going through the hole. At the end of the day, if you're worrying about what other people are saying, then that's just only going to be worse. They're not in your position. They're not in the NBA. But I feel like even though it's my third year, I've been playing basketball long enough as a shooter to know what works for me. And to get through it, you just have to put more shots up. And I think that's preparation at the end of the day. And being prepared is really just having the confidence kind of away from the games, what people really don't see. And that's that Noah thing you're talking about, where it's tracking our shots, but at the end of the day, it's just getting shots up.
Obviously, you're about to go out west. I mean, what have you learned from previous long trips and how the team can build on it from being away from a long trip?
Yeah, they're fun. It's fun to travel. I think this is a 9-day road trip. But yeah, it is long. But at the end of the day, it's in the middle of this month, so we just know how important these games are to keep us pushing to the end of the season. And I feel like we can't look too far ahead. But it's really just one game at a time, and focus on the Lakers, and then whatever happens after that happens.